I thought this was a Prime Minister who didn't really get it. He didn't get it because if we are to rebuild trust in our press, then we've got to show leadership on all the key issues. And that includes everything from B Sky B, and whether he just ploughs on regardless, as he seems to be suggesting he will with his current inadequate process, to the question of Andy Coulson. And I thought it was extraordinary this morning that the Prime Minister didn't say that he had made a mistake, because he clearly did make a terrible mistake in hiring Andy Coulson, somebody who had resigned from the News of the World over phone hacking, taking responsibility for that, and about whom, and I think this will become very important in the coming hours and days, about whom specific information was passed by the Guardian newspaper before the general election to warn David Cameron about the dangers of making him his communication director. And Mr Cameron will have to answer the questions about what he knew about those allegations that had been put to members of his staff by the Guardian.
He said repeatedly that he didn't know. Are you calling him a liar?
No, but my information is very clearly, Adam, that the Guardian newspaper went to a senior member of David Cameron's staff with clear evidence about some of the practices that Andy Coulson had been engaged in as editor of the News of the World, and in particular the hiring of someone called Jonathan Rees, who was a convicted criminal and who had been engaging in practices in relation to paying the police on behalf of various newspapers. They went to David Cameron's senior aide with that information, and David Cameron appears to have done nothing about it. Now, I think that is a very serious matter, and the Prime Minister can't just...
I mean, I think in the case of Rees,
he's going to have to provide specific answers.
I mean, this is part of the problem, isn't it? That in the case of Rees, the police have not yet looked into the papers, and also David Cameron is saying, I mean, can you name this senior official who was given this information? Because David Cameron said this morning on the record he never heard it.
Well, I didn't exactly hear him saying that. Look, it's for the Guardian newspaper. I don't know who this senior official was. It's for the Guardian newspaper to do that. But let me just be clear about the Jonathan Rees issue. Newspaper articles had been published in 2002 and after that about Jonathan Rees. This was not some mystery situation. Articles had been published about him, and the Guardian, as I understand it, went to Mr Cameron with additional or Mr Cameron's staff with additional information. But look, this is just part of a bigger picture, Adam. And the bigger picture is this, which is...
Yeah, carry on,
let me just make the point about the bigger picture and then come back to me. The bigger picture is this, which is that Andy Coulson's claim was this is an isolated incident in relation to phone hacking, and that he resigned over it. But there was a welter of allegations, and there was a welter of really quite strong evidence about this, and David Cameron pressed ahead regardless. And I want to take it to this bigger issue. He needs to show the leadership the country needs, not just on that issue, but on the issue of B Sky B. And I have to say that the idea that he says that they should plough on with a process involving assurances from senior executives at News Corporation, when we know senior executives at News International gave a whole set of assurances in relation to phone hacking, I think it beggars belief. And I don't think that the public up and down the country will let this hold. And I really say to the Prime Minister, he must think again on B Sky B, as well as on his own role in relation to Andy Coulson.